Hello and welcome to another Summit video. Today we're going to be looking at retired vehicles in Roblox Jailbreak, how they hold up with vehicles currently in-game, and why they were removed. Starting with the first two retired vehicles, we have the Mighty, previously known as the Mini Cooper, and the Steed, formerly called the Mustang. The Mighty was retired due to lack of use considering its obscure location. The Steed had some factors that drove people away from buying the car before its retirement, mainly bouncing on laggy servers or low-end devices. Starting with the Mighty, it has decent acceleration and top speed, along with its amazing handling. It can off-road decently and is capable of handling tight corners, along with good braking. The reverse speed is pretty bad though, as for many old cars. However, the Mighty did not go forever. A few days prior to the April 2021 update, the developers announced that the Mighty would be a level 6 prize for Season 3, making the Mighty the first ever unobtainable vehicle to go back on sale. It remained on sale until May 30th, 2021, where it went off sale again and will likely never return. Its price was $25,000 in-game cash and was overall a decent vehicle. The Steed, in terms of performance, was rather mixed, having the best and worst of most cars, featuring quick launch and great braking alongside a decent spawn location and costing only $50,000. But the Steed had a few downside. Among some of the things that made the Steed deemed a rather poor option to purchase were how it reacted to low-end devices and laggy internet, and its top speed and rather solid but still less than average acceleration. Overall, the Steed was an okay vehicle than what it was said. Handling and braking are all amazing and allow the Steed to be useful in almost any scenario. However, the low speed, poor acceleration, and frequent bouncing on laggy devices and internet drove players away. The next two cars that went together were the SUV and the Megalodon, formerly called the McLaren and before that the Roclaren. The Megalodon has a mixed reception. Similar to some other vehicles, it sacrifices high speed for incredible handling and brakes. However, the Megalodon was given mainly negative feedback. Its top speed is only slightly faster than the Cybertruck, which is fast, but costing only $75,000, and the Megalodon $300,000. Despite the below-average price-to-performance ratio for speed and acceleration, it was somewhat saved for its incredible handling, often being among the best in the game, and its excellent brakes. It was retired on July 12, 2020. The SUV has a decent top speed, acceleration, and handling. It excels in off-roading, having high ground clearance, and being able to climb hills with ease. Before its retirement, it made a good getaway from the prison by using the ramp, but this required rocket fuel. It makes a good police vehicle due to its great off-roading and decent stats. Overall, the SUV is a decent vehicle, especially for teams, similar to the Interrogator. The next vehicles to get retired are the Porsche, previously known as the Porsche, and the Brûlé, previously known as the Bugatti or the Veyron. The Porsche, when it was first added, was faster than most vehicles. It was the third fastest vehicle and had a special feature that a player can shoot out in a vehicle due to the open roof. This made it a huge advantage to buying in the game at the time. Today, the Porsche is somewhat irrelevant. It is now outsped by the Model 3 because of engine upgrades being implemented. To make matters worse, updates haven't been nice to it. Cheaper and faster vehicles have been added over time, such as the Patrol, SUV, Challenger, and even the free Jeep. Before retirement, the Porsche was used mostly by those who couldn't reach the vehicle when trying to get away from the museum. It was priced at $70,000 due to the fact that it was one of the 4 vehicles you could use items as a passenger inside, so you could shoot police officers or criminals while riding in the car. However, a later update made it possible to use items in any vehicle except for the Jeep, making the Porsche's primary selling feature irrelevant and threw the Porsche into obscurity. The Brûlé, or the Bugatti when it was first added, was added in June 2017. The vehicle was a groundbreaking car, stealing records from other cars such as speed and reverse speed record, and costing $500,000. The Brûlé had a positive reception, beating out any competition, and by the end of 2017, it had only one rival, the Volt. While the Volt was better in most situations, the Brûlé still had far better speed, an extra seat, and was half the price. And as the Volt is a bike, the Brûlé was still the best car on sale. However, near the end of 2018, event seasons were introduced, and with them came the second hypercar to Jailbreak, the Torpedo. Originally, the Torpedo was not able to beat the Brûlé at top speed. Despite being faster than the Eclair and tying with the Torpedo, the Brûlé still fell short in terms of overall consistency. This is due to its extremely long acceleration to top speed and its heavy mass, making it less than practical than some other hypercars, such as the Torpedo or the Eclair. However, the Brûlé is still an excellent car for its age, and is still able to hold up with modern hypercars. These vehicles fell under the retired category since they were removed from purchasing and spawning naturally without garages. These next vehicles fall under the limited category since they were available for purchase for a limited amount of time. The M12 Molten, called the M12 or Molten for short, was the first ever limited car and a community-made one. The M12 Molten has a very good performance stats. It has one of the best top speeds in the game. The launch is fast, competing with the Eclair, and the acceleration is great. The off-roading for excellent is a hypercar, being able to climb hills and fairly steep terrain with ease. Overall, the M12 Molten is a great hypercar. The Agent has good overall performance stats with relatively quick speeds and very capable handling, braking, and off-roading. Pair all of this with the ability to fire missiles, and the Agent comes out as a very solid vehicle. However, the Agent has a below-average price-to-performance ratio when it comes to speed, and it loses to the cheaper-priced Sirius, Stallion, Eclair, Roadster, and Airtail. The price of $600,000 seems to mainly be attributed to its limited status and weapons rather than the outright performance. Not to mention, the missiles are pretty weak and difficult to aim, along with being bound to a different key to shoot, unlike every other vehicle that has missiles. These next vehicles fall under the seasonally retired category, since they were available to purchase from the old season system. The JB8, formerly known as the R8, has an excellent top speed, very slightly beating the Jet. The reverse speed is quite decent. The acceleration, handling, and brakes are all good as well. The JB8 isn't great when it comes to off-roading. It can hold 3 passengers, the most of any supercar, for $200,000. All of these traits make for a great supercar for trios. Overall, the JB8 proves to be a great car. However, it is outclassed by some cheaper and similarly priced supercars in performance. The Raptor has good stats overall, but it really excels in off-road performance. It also has a seating capacity of 6, which is only behind the Black Hawk's 8 seats, making it a quite good vehicle for teams. However, the Cybertruck, which also seats 6 people, outperforms Raptor in most stats, despite the Raptor costing $150,000 and the Cybertruck only half. All in all, the Raptor is a decent vehicle. The Arachnid, sometimes called the Batmobile or the Tumbler, is quite an underrated vehicle. It features amazing acceleration, handling, off-roading, and agility, making it a great vehicle for police. One reason behind its underrated nature is its top speed. While it is slower than the Torpedo, this was because the Torpedo was meant for criminals, so they would need to outrun the Arachnid in chases. Maximum speed is not relevant for police, they need agility and acceleration. The Arachnid proves to be one of the best police vehicles in the game, so if you normally play them on the police team, it is highly recommended you use the Arachnid if you own it. The Torpedo is currently the fastest vehicle in-game. It has some of the best stats in Jailbreak, with the best top speed, fast acceleration rate, powerful launch, and the 4th best reverse speed. It never reaches its true top speed due to its long acceleration time and the shortness and curves of the roads, but when it gets close, it manages to stay ahead of the other IN vehicles. Driving abilities are well-rounded, with good handling and braking, and excellent off-roading for a hypercar. The Torpedo is also very reliable, with no tendency to fling or hit railroads like the M12 Molten. Formerly, the Torpedo was different, performing similarly to its police counterpart, the Arachnid, which, albeit, is not bad. However, being the criminal counterpart of the two cars, the Torpedo would need to be faster than the Arachnid, thus the car was buffed to have a higher top speed. It was also pretty slippery at release. The Torpedo mainly rivals the Brûlé, with both having near identical stats, yet the one with the best stats varies by category. All things considered, the Torpedo is an excellent vehicle, with every performance stat being great. These next vehicles fall under the seasonally retired as well, but this time are connected with the new season system as of August 2021. The Beam Hybrid, commonly called the Beam, is pretty good. It features decent acceleration, handling, and surprisingly good off-roading. However, the Beam Hybrid is slower than some supercars and all hypercars. It is, however, faster than all general vehicles and some other supercars. This vehicle has great performance, but there are some aspects that are worse than other vehicles that are easier to obtain than the Beam. The crew capsule, called the SpaceX Dragon 2 in real life, and formerly the crewed spaceship, features somewhat mediocre performance, not having many decent stats unlike other aerial vehicles, and comes in last in almost every aerial vehicle performance category. However, the crew capsule does feature somewhat good launch, handling, and reverse speed. These suboptimal performance stats are likely because the crew capsule can be spawned by owners via the premium garage game passes and garages. Its biggest issue is that there is no directional indicator, due to the vehicle spinning at all times when driving, making it a guess as to which direction it will go. Overall, the performance is average, but it can be seen as underwhelming to some. The Volt 4x4 boasts impressive performance statistics, especially in off-roading, which is its specialty. It can traverse tough terrain with ease and climb up steep hills quickly due to its powerful launch acceleration. It is more capable and more stable than other off-roaders like the Raptor, Cybertruck, and even the Monster Truck. In addition to this, it is quite fast, beating out all of the aforementioned trucks, the Arachnid, many sports cars, and some supercars. However, the massive size causes a couple of downsides. Most obviously, it cannot fit into small areas, including most garages, and is far less nimble than other cars. Also, the Volt 4x4's braking is somewhat slow. Overall, the 4x4 is a very unique and well-performing season vehicle, with various capabilities that other cars cannot offer. It is also a good vehicle for the police, like the Arachnid, with great off-roading abilities and roadblock potential. The Rattler has good stats overall. The top speed is a bit faster than the Cybertruck, DeLorean, and Megalodon, but can be eventually beaten by cars such as the Beam Hybrid. The launch is quite good, acceleration is very quick, it is a capable off-roader due to its open wheel layout, being able to move around sharp corners easily, and decent braking. It also has a slightly above average reverse speed. The Torero, also called the Lamborghini Countach, is a well-performing hypercar. It has a great top speed, being faster than the Stallion, tied with the Cirrus, but slightly slower than the Airtail, handling, and an incredible reverse speed. This vehicle excels in every performance stat, though some aspects of its performance are beaten by cheaper, non-limited vehicles. Overall, the Torero is a great limited-time vehicle in terms of performance stats for only $599,000. The Banana Car has a fast top speed, beating the Rattler, Beam Hybrid, and Volt 4x4, and being slightly faster than the Volt, Roadster, and Stallion. The vehicle also has a powerful launch and acceleration, makes it great for getaways. It also has a unique banana trail that emits from its back wheels. However, handling is usually slippery, and off-roading is a little unstable, as it is prone to rolling over, especially at tight, high-speed turns. Overall, the Banana Car is a good vehicle and is recommended for players. The handling can be a little slippery, but that can be overcome with a little practice. In conclusion, most currently retired vehicles are pretty good, but most are easily beaten by currently in-game vehicles. The first retired vehicles were removed for reasons such as new counterparts being underused. More recent retired vehicles were removed for the reason of being limited time, most likely to boost playtime. Thanks for tuning in! Do you think these vehicles should come back with upgraded visuals, having a new counterpart, or something else? Leave us a comment with what you think. And as always, please consider supporting us if you enjoyed this content by liking and subscribing. We hope you learned something, and as always, we will see you in the next one.